Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Note Closer Show. This is episode number 23. It is 12-12, December 12th today, Monday morning. I'm in Austin, Texas, here in the boardroom, or I guess you call it one of our war rooms here at the WCN World Headquarters. We've got everybody. I know, World Headquarters, you would think it's funny because you laugh about that, but we have people all across the world that watch these. So I want to thank all of you for taking the time to watch this, to share it, comment on it. Definitely want you guys to leave comments today because this is an important topic that we'll be talking about. Note Flakes. Don't be a Note Flake. Now, Note Flake is not a cereal like Corn Flakes or Raisin Bran. Note Flakes are people that submit offers and then they gas leak you. Now, if you don't know what a gas leak is, if you ever knocked on a door, like knocked on a foreclosures, pre-foreclosures, sold anything door to door like I have in the past, and you have an appointment with somebody and the cars are home, the lights are on, but when you knock on the door, you hear everybody in the house go, shh. Okay? Hilarious thing. We had an amazing mastermind last weekend in Orlando. This last week, obviously, was a little bit of recovery. I'm sure you guys can tell by the videos. Monday, I looked comatose. Tuesday, I looked more refreshed. Wednesday and Thursday, I don't think I did much, and then we were back here on Friday. So excited here. We've got our graduate here. Big round of applause. Greg Arciso, the most eligible Note Bachelor out there, everybody. Excited though, he's here full time. No longer intern, full time as of Monday morning. Welcome to the job force. All right. Today's topic, though, is about not being a Note Flake. Now, what's funny is today at 3 o'clock Central Time, we have a note draft. And if you've never been a part of a note draft or a note auction that we do, it's really an interesting time. A lot of work is done, put into it. A lot of work goes into the actual day of the draft because it's me putting spreadsheets together, taking the due diligence that our peeps have so hard put together, or just putting the list together for our mastermind students and then drawing numbers, which we did last weekend in Orlando, and then basically have them doing their due diligence up front so they can make a draft choice. Now, by Note Flakes, what do I mean by Note Flakes? Well, we had somebody who put in a bunch of offers from like 2 weeks ago who completely just flaked on everything come last Wednesday or Thursday, or last Friday.
Mm-hmm. Found out Friday.
We found out Friday. We're like, hey, can we get an update? Can we update the bids? Because we submitted offers on their behalf. They got counters back, and then they completely flaked. They're like, oh, I didn't get any realtors, I didn't do anything. And I'm like, shit. So, well, the good thing is now we do have some counters on some of those offers that we can submit or open up to others. So he or she only hurts themselves in that type of situation. Because A, it does not build trust on my end because I don't trust them to take the time to do that. I can understand it, hey, these assets needed work, they were someone a tax foreclosure, some are just pieces of shit, one's an empty lot, whatever. I can understand that when you cancel bids for that. But when you submit bids in, and then you don't do anything for over a week, yes, I get you got to travel. Yes, I get you got to be somewhere. But you still had a couple days to pick up the phone and call some realtors and make things happen, and you did not do it. All right?
15 to 18 bids.
15 plus bids. Yeah. Hey, it'll be somebody else's opportunity, which is okay. What's also funny today is I'm getting phone calls, emails over the weekend. People are flipping out. Let me repeat that again. That they've got to be ready by 3 o'clock today. They're like cats. I'm not ready to make a bid. Okay. No, we're not doing this in Elmore. Like you. Okay. Internal joke here in the office, obviously. We don't have any fun here in the office. So what's funny is people are flipping out. Like, oh my gosh, I couldn't get realtors to go buy my bids. And I said, well, send me your bids so I can take a look at it. And there's 3 bids. And I'm like, really? You've got literally, I think, 700, 800, 900 assets to choose from, and you only come up with 2 or 3, and then you still couldn't pick up the phone. This is an initial. With our note draft, when somebody submits a bid, it's not a hard, fast number. They've got opportunity still to do due diligence after the fact. And people are flipping out like, oh, I'm not ready, I'm not prepared, or I'm going to give my bids to somebody else because I'm not ready. And that's scary. What it tells me is either people aren't taking this seriously, they treat it as a hobby, and they don't take it seriously, or B, they just don't listen, they're not prepared. Because there's some very easy systems for due diligence on the front end, okay? Now, you've probably heard, if you've ever heard being on a note camp or a virtual note buying for dummies. Actually, our next virtual note buying for dummies is February 3rd, 4th, and 5th for those that are interested. You can find that out at weclosenotes.com and sign up for the class there. I think I need to go back and change the date on that because I think it still shows November's class. But anyway, that's the next one. You always want to double check value, taxes, and title. Now, very simple, checking values. You always want a realtor drive by. I understand you always can't get realtors to drive by in their first 5 or 6 days, especially the week after Thanksgiving. Let's face it, plus if it's also in a very bad weather where they've got snow, I get it. But at least you can come up with some sort of preemptive bid, preemptive value. You know, submitting a bid is a bid. If they come back and counter, you're going to have more time to pull values. You can always cancel at that point. But not getting in the game is frustrating. Now, you can always call and check taxes. You can always jump online and check taxes. That can be done within 5 minutes. There's no excuse not to check taxes. Now, title, you're not going to check title until after you get an approved bid back. All right? And that can still counter back as well if you see title has a lot of ugly liens on it and things like that. Like we got one tape that's got some assets of $35,000 liens. It looks like a city or state lien. I still don't have an answer back on what those liens are yet from the seller. But, hey, you've got plenty of offers, plenty of things to make bids on. Don't flip out and shoot yourself in the foot before we get in. Don't ever. The example is, hey, you get a chance to get in the game here. It's like the coach turns to you and says, hey man, get in the game. And you're like, no, I'm good. I enjoyed practicing. I enjoyed the shoot around. I enjoyed wearing the jersey and trying to warm up, but I don't want to get in the game. I'm scared. Even though we're up 100 points, I'm scared. Okay? So he can't be a note flake. Because if you become a note flake, you really only have like one opportunity. Now I get, hey, if you're not doing due diligence, you got other things. You've had like a family emergency, like we had one of our mastermind members had to go to the hospital, had surgery this weekend. I get that. I respect that. I'm like, hey, what can we do to help you? It reminds me we need to send flowers. All that. So I'm sure Steph's already on that, but just for the heck of just a reminder today. Another person's like, hey, yeah, we're closing on another 20 deals. We're not going to bid on the note draft because we're already busy enough with what we got. I can totally respect that. But if you're brand new in the game and you've got an opportunity, what do you have to lose? Get in, make some offers, use it to help you market your business to raise capital. And people are literally removing themselves from the game before ever they get started. There's no Facebook posts, there's no LinkedIn posts, there's no Instagram. None of the posts about assets they're working on. Now, those that did have emails that went out and things that are going on, I know those guys and gals are going to bid. Right? Those are strong. People call me, hey, Scott, would you mind having a few minutes to go through my bids? I'm glad to do that for people. That's a good thing. But people flake all the time, and you can't do that in this business. You can't submit 20 bids and flake and not do anything, not do any due diligence on the fact. You have to be an adult. Also, if you want different results from a situation, you have to do different things. If you're busy doing a lot of other things that aren't making you money and you're trying to get into the business, don't you think it's worth your time to quit wasting your time with the stuff that's just time wasting and actually get in and do the things that we tell you to do to make money? I would think it's worth it. Some people don't. So, any questions, comments? Anybody else dealing with note flakes in their lives? I mean, it's the end of the fourth quarter here. We do have some hedge funds that have flaked off. We got a hedge fund that's supposed to send me another 300 assets, and they knew that we had a note draft today, but they're waiting as well till next week to finalize some of the things, which will make it difficult to get stuff closed by the end of the month, before the end of the year. We have another hedge fund who we got a list in who freaked out and played note shenanigans and pulled their tape, and now they want to resubmit the tape. I'm like, we'll have to do it after the draft because I'm not going to throw new assets at my investors who have no chance to do due diligence. You don't have enough time. You're going to have to wait a couple days because they're busy doing and focusing on the other 800, 900 assets the other hedge funds send us in a timely fashion. Any questions?
Axel asked about people pulling out. Is this an isolated incident or is it a common practice we deal with?
You're going to have that happen. I mean, you have flakes that will flake on. You have funding flakes. This is a whole Flake series I see.
Flakes.
Like we need to come up with like a head and shoulders, like dead and shoulders.
Smell of flakes over here.
Flakes, people will flake on you regardless. And these are people that have gone through training, they come to the mastermind. I would hope they wouldn't flake, but sometimes they do anyway. They freak out and they flake out, especially when you, and that happens. It doesn't happen that often. It happens probably about 10% of the time. We had 80 people in our mastermind. We've had, 6 people flake out this morning. That's about 10%. So it'll be interesting to see what happens once we get to the draft as well, here at 3 o'clock Central Time. So what do we do at the draft? Or is there another question before we go into that?
Oh, no, Cody just says he's funding in 4 deals this week and he's ready for the draft.
I know Cody Cox is rock and rolling.
Rock and
Congratulations, Cody Cox. Closing on 4 deals this week. That's awesome, and closing on more. So proud of Cody Cox. Cody Cox is above and beyond doing amazing things. Jen Adams, the Adams, we just had a rock star of a good time last weekend. What was I going to say?
George Crocker says he guess I have to master my mind.
He needs to get into the mastermind.
Yeah, you got to get the mastermind with your comments back and forth on Facebook yesterday. I saw that. This mastermind tape is for just the mastermind members. We'll be rolling out monthly asset sales probably starting in January. Not only open the mastermind, but the mastermind will get first crack at it, and then we'll open it up to other people as well, starting in January. So we're pretty excited about that.
You can always join the one that we have in Austin next.
Our next mastermind is going to be in Austin. We've not set a date for it yet. Steph is working on that, trying to come up with something. I think we're going to be doing it either late March or very early April in Austin.
Busy month that month.
Yeah, it pretty much is.
March? Yeah.
March is always really busy. What else? The biggest thing you guys can do to keep in mind to avoid flakes. I think what I have found, people that flake out, there's basically a couple of things. One, they wait to the last minute. Okay? Waiting to the last minute to do due diligence is always a bad thing. Okay? Second thing, they don't take the time to build their relationships. They either rely on one thing to build realtor contacts, and that doesn't work in there. So, especially waiting to the last minute, you're not going to have realtors pull values for you in the first 24 hours most of the time. You may need to pay WeGoLook.com $99 to go do it, but that's still going to take them 48 hours to 72 hours to get out and get that stuff done. So what you have to do is do an automated valuation model or an online value, checking eAppraisal, Zillow, Truly, taking the average of those 3 and the low ball of those, or seeing what's the recent solds in Zillow. This is why it's important to really start with 5 states and focus on the bigger cities in those 5 states and develop relationships with realtors in those areas. It's things we preach all the time. I mean, worst case, you jump online and narrow your list down, and you go to tapetext.com or have Liz Brimmer over there pull some due diligence for you, some high-level stuff to help you expedite and narrow your list down to what makes sense for it. But ultimately, you have to start with the end in mind. All right? And what's the end in mind? Well, you got to have a good ROI calculator. And how do you create an ROI calculator? Well, you've got to identify your costs along the way, your expected time frames, things like that, and each state's a little bit different. So it's important to identify what your main exit strategies are. If you want to have cash flow, then you need to focus on owner-occupied assets, not vacant assets, okay? If you want to focus on rentals, then you probably want to focus on vacant properties that you can get into and hopefully deed in lieu relatively quickly, not long foreclosure states. That's what it comes down to. Unfortunately, too many investors out there trying to be gunslingers and shooting at all sorts of deals, they don't have any sort of filtering model, and exit strategy model to kind of combine the two together to identify, okay, if I got 500 assets, look at how can I narrow it down to 20, 30 relatively quickly. Some people don't want to deal with assets below 25 grand. Some people don't want to deal with assets below 50 grand. Some people don't want to deal with assets above 75,000. So those are all things that you can narrow down. People are calling me, hey, what about this mobile home? I'm like, I don't mess with mobile homes. Probably not a good deal. Because why? Well, your house can get up and roll out of town, and all you're left is the lot a lot of times. So it's interesting. Going to be an interesting thing. The note draft will probably last 4 hours. I've slated to be here from 3 o'clock to 8 o'clock tonight, going through that one-on-one with people, literally drawing numbers. And although we have 57 actual couples or 57 bid spots, it's now been reduced down to about 53 with people. I have sent you a couple people that have submitted bids and that they could not make it, so that we'll be submitting bids on their behalf, which is completely fine. I love that. Lets me know that people are actually doing their due diligence and knocking stuff out. What other questions?
That's it. They're all just commenting on the gas leak thing earlier. Yeah.
Gas leak.
The gas leak.
Everybody's been gas leaked at some point, I think. If you actually door knocked or done anything, especially insurance or financial advising sales or multi-level marketing, a lot of people are out doing that.
I used to sell knives.
Oh yeah, the Ginzu knives.
Yeah, was it Vector Marketing?
Yeah,
And they'd
Vector.
always they would, or you could see them peek out the window.
Who's that out the window? She's got a blade. She's a traveling Japanese samurai or samurai warrior.
Oh my God.
What's somebody's comment?
Somebody, I guess it was Stephanie, was like hitting the hilarious button.
She's watching it.
Yeah, she's watching it now.
Okay. It's Monday, everybody. You've got literally, if you figure out, you've got this week and next week before Christmas, right, everybody? Mm-hmm. Oh, by the way, we got to get a head count for Sunday night.
Oh, yes.
For the
Christmas party!
Christmas dinner. I won't say it's much of a party.
Oh, nah. It's always a party.
Christmas dinner with us is always
Always a party with us.
Always a party with us.
Stephanie said, but wait, there's more.
For the Cutco thing.
Oh, yeah, the Cutco thing. Cutco knives. It's the end of the year, everybody. If you can get something submitted in between now and the end of the year, and you're waiting for your first deal, or you need to get something happening, take action. So important to take action, get things going. I mean, the note draft is a very busy time. It keeps us busy for about 2 weeks, 3 weeks of making sure everybody's bids are accepted, trying to get them funded, dealing with collateral, dealing with due diligence, dealing with taxes, dealing with contracts, dealing with servicing.
Yay!
Jen will grow horns by the end of the year for stuff. But it's well worth it to get people to close their deals because they become so much better as an investor once they close on their first note deal. You learn so much from doing it versus just shooting. I mean, we all can shoot baskets in practice. But until you're sitting on that line shooting free throws in a game, it's a whole different story. Everybody. Total different story. So don't be a note flake. Don't be a flake. If you're going to do something, go out and do it. Hey, we get things happen all the time. I had a phone call with somebody today like, oh, I'm dealing with tax issues. Okay, that's fine. If somebody wants to submit your bids, I just haven't had time because I'm dealing with tax issues. Okay, that's fair. Not a problem. Best of luck. Let me know how we can help you with anything. So go make things happen this week, everybody. It is Monday, December 12th. It's 12 squared. Hopefully you guys go out and like this, share this with a couple people. And hopefully we can help make your 2016 wrap up in a big fashion and kick your gear into 2017 in high gear. And all right, guys.
Let's get ready to bid.
Let's get rocking. We'll see you guys tomorrow on Tuesday.